Hello. Today's video is an embarrassing subject. It's tricky to talk about. I'm scared to talk about it. I feel exposed and vulnerable, too exposed and too vulnerable. But that's always a good place to be, I think, when I make videos. If I feel like that, it's normally a good sign. It's normally a sign that the video's it's got some real juice to it, and it feels like if something like this needs to be talked about, if I feel like I'm going to be sick from the thought of even talking about it. So here goes. These videos are really hard to make, especially ones like this. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, please subscribe to the channel. If you get anything out of my videos or you like them, please drop a like on the video. All these things really help. As I said yesterday, I'm starting my career again, so this is all new territory, and all the help and all the support I can get is huge. And I did notice that a lot of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so I thought I'd point it out at the beginning more often because it really helps. I'm stalling. I'm trying to say as much as I can before getting into this subject, because this subject is embarrassing. It's not something I really... shall I just check that's recording just to buy a little bit more time? It is recording, so I can't really. Okay. It shouldn't be. This shouldn't be an embarrassing thing. It's something that everyone does, although no one admits to it. It's like the biggest form of entertainment, although no one ever gets involved with it. No one ever experiences it. No one ever watches it. But it's the biggest form of entertainment. It's a driver of all technology, all the internet, videos, everything, basically virtual reality. It's all driven by this one industry, and yet no one has anything to do with it. No one knows anything about it. So I feel like it's embarrassing to talk about, so no one wants to talk about it. But it's also a very serious and underappreciated addiction. People don't take it seriously. It's similar with food and sugar addiction for me, which I also have. And basically, it's pornography. Now, I am addicted to everything. There's not something that's been invented that I'm not addicted to. It's crazy that I could never touch video games and I can't touch gambling because I know I would go down that road. And the way addiction works is if you put one thing down, another one pops up. You put that thing down, another one pops up. And it's like a game of whack-a-mole, you know? Whack them all, whack them all, whack them all. I've sorted out drugs, drinking pops up. Sorted out drinking, spending comes up. Sorted out spending, sugar comes up. Sorted out sugar, porn comes up. So I can talk from experience. I have 100% been addicted to pornography. And I didn't really take it that seriously until the last couple of years, where I really did feel that I was doing it even when I didn't want to do it. And I'm sure if you even watch pornography, even if you're not an addict, you can relate to that. It's a numbing. It numbs me out, and it will. It's like drugs and alcohol. If I want to numb, I don't want to feel. And pornography does the same thing, and it works on the same centers of the brain: dopamine, serotonin, and it just, for me, and I guess if you use it as well, you know. It just numbs you out, and it's not treated as a serious addiction, but it really is. It ruins lives, it ruins relationships. It's been an issue for me in the past. I actually have to abstain nowadays. I don't do it at all now because I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't do it responsibly. Just like drinking and drugs, I couldn't do it responsibly, so I had to abstain completely. And thank God, you can abstain from pornography. You can't really abstain from sex, and sex addiction is another thing. And pornography addiction and sex addiction go like that. They're the same thing almost. And I went to SLAA, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, for a while. And there's a lot of people in there struggling with porn and trying to get time. You know, I've got 30 days, I've got 60 days. And I have to say, of all the 12-step programs I've been in, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Sex and Love Addicts is the trickiest one. From just seeing how people can't get time, they can't. It's incredibly difficult to get any period of time in sex and love addiction program. I really noticed that because I would obviously get to know everyone in the room, and people would have months and then back to zero, months and then back to zero. And people that I really respected, like in other programs, would be struggling in this. And I feel like it's going to become obvious later on just how corrosive and destructive pornography can be. I feel like it stops. Well, I talk for myself. It would stop me being able to enjoy a normal sex life because I had all these expectations and all the massive. I've flooded my brain with dopamine. I'd flooded my brain with dopamine from the images, and then to come back to reality, it was like not the same dopamine, and it's really sad to not be able to enjoy that part of life because you've overdosed on fantasy images and stuff. So I've abstained completely, and I feel so much better for it. And I feel like this is a topic that we could go further into. Sex addiction, porn addiction. It's a whole avenue that I've certainly been affected by, and I've certainly been in the rooms and of those addictions and done work in that capacity, and it's super interesting. It's something hardly anyone talks about. And lots of people look down on sex addiction, or they treat it like a joke, like, oh, sex addiction, oh, that's just, you're having an affairs, and you just don't want to when you get caught, you say you're a sex addict, but it's not that. And that's nothing to do with our separation, by the way, just before you go into that. It's nothing, this is a separate thing. This is just something I wanted to make a video about. I struggled a few years ago enough to be in a 12-step program for this. And it's very serious. It's very serious. It ruins people's lives, and it's progressive. Oh my God. There's a guy I know right now who's struggling. He thinks he might be struggling with sex addiction. And I told him to go to a meeting I used to go to. And he went, and he was like, oh man, it was too dark. I can't go back. People in there struggling with, way worse things than I struggle with, which is just, sleeping with too many women for him. And I was like, yeah, but it's progressive. That's the scary thing. Alcoholism is progressive. Drug addiction is progressive. Sex addiction is progressive. Pornography addiction is progressive. I don't know if you've ever experienced, you look at one kind of porn and you get desensitized to it, and then it has to be stronger and stronger and stronger. Same thing with drugs. Same thing with alcohol. So I did feel like it was something I hadn't seen people talk about. And when I did see videos about it, it was people talking about, oh, some people struggle. And then I wanted this whole video, my whole YouTube is about me and how I'm telling you how, from a raw, authentic way, what's going on with me. And I wanted to make a video saying I've struggled with it, and I had to go to a 12-step group around it, because the thing about pornography addiction is it's an addiction. So if I put down drugs, it can come up. If I put down alcohol, it can come up. I'm struggling now with addiction. My addiction now is work. Music and videos. I'm addicted to it, definitely. I've definitely got workaholism, but my sponsor said that that's the only addiction that he said is positive, but he's a workaholic too. So I don't know if it's positive, but so it's not like I put porn down, put alcohol down, put drugs down, and now I'm fine. No, I'm really struggling with it. I'm obsessed, as you know, make videos all the time. I'm obsessed with work, obsessed with it. To an unhealthy degree, to a point where I'm always thinking about it. And, I'm not with my family right now, so it's not really hurting anyone. And I'm trying to build a new thing, so it's exciting and I love doing it. But I'm 100% addicted to work right now. I wouldn't say I'm addicted to social media because I don't really look at comments unless That's not true. That's a lie. I do look at comments. I used to obsessively look at comments. Before all this happened, I would obsessively look at numbers, performance, and I would obsessively look at numbers and performance. I was addicted to social media for sure. I'm really good with that now. I don't do that. I do look at comments because I like to interact with you guys. So that's what I tell myself. But I do look at comments, but I don't, I'm not obsessed with social media as much. But work generally, like I don't really see YouTube as social media. I feel like this is very creative, but social media is creative as well. So yeah, this cross addiction is a crazy one. Coffee as well, I've got a problem with. It's all to numb. All these things I use, I keep it to myself, to numb out. Like I don't want to deal with life. Life's too hard or it's too disappointing right now with what's happened. I don't want to deal, so I numb out. And it would have been porn because I can't drink or do drugs anymore. Now it's work. But these like smaller addictions, smaller in inverted commas, aren't treated as seriously, but they're serious. I mean, I think sex and porn addiction is a hugely toxic addiction and very destructive, way more than people think. And I feel like this video may deserve a part 2. Do you want to hear more about sex and love addiction and porn addiction? If you do, write a comment down there. Tell me your experience. Do you have a porn sex addiction? Do you watch too much porn? Do you wish you could stop but you can't stop? Do you chase partners and you wish you could stop but you can't stop? Are you addicted to a toxic person? That's a great video as well. These are great. I'll do a series on this because these are really great topics that I really want to talk about because I've found that 12-step programs around that stuff to be very interesting and a good warning for people who, before they go into the addiction, I think that there's ways to stop yourself declining into that addictive mindset with this stuff. So I will make further videos on this. I love you guys. Thank you for coming back every day. I've got a Patreon where there's exclusive videos and exclusive music every single week. I'm writing my Patreon piece now. It's a really good one. This week is a piece of music to help focus and energy, which I've never done before. Most of my music's for relaxing. This one is about focus, studying. Binaural beats are different frequencies. It's clocking at a different rate that should inspire creativity and focus. So that's exciting. That'll be exclusive Patreon track. My podcast, Help with Stephen Hilton, is also linked down there. I love you guys. Come back tomorrow and let's talk about something else.